What's up, everybody? Welcome back and happy Monday. I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. Go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. If you are in Texas or parts of the South, probably aware, got severe storms moving into the area today, and it's going to last through tomorrow as well. All risks are currently on the table: hail, wind, and tornadoes with this system tracking through. We'll talk a little bit about it in a second. And then Thursday and Friday, round 2 of a very similar setup tracking into a very similar area. So getting into all of your weather risks here in a second, but got to let you know first that we're at the SRC Summit tomorrow through the 11th, and this is going to be at the Frisco, Texas Convention Center. If you use code HAIL24, I believe you get $100 off your registration, so go ahead and take advantage of that and say hello to us at the SRC Summit. Now, here's our upcoming pattern, okay? So this low pressure system is what's tracking through, sparking the storms into today and tomorrow. Pretty solid little low as it tracks off to the east, and we're really kind of eyeballing this. So this is just the upper level winds in our jet stream, and they are cranking through the area, and just what that does is it causes a lot of turbulence in the atmosphere, a lot of rotation, hence the tornado risk for today and tomorrow with these very high wind values in the upper atmosphere. Now we have a little break between tomorrow and Thursday, and then the next low comes through, and again it's looking like a very similar setup, tracking into the South Plains and then eventually the southeast through Thursday and Friday, with another very stout little low pressure bringing yet another chance for hail, wind, and tornadoes into the end of the week. So got some bookend risks here at the beginning and the end of your work week, and this is the beginnings of this first one. All right, so got a lot of storms going on here through the southern Mississippi Valley as well as the South Plains. Got a little line tracking through the DFW metro right now. Not expected to do any widespread severe weather with that. What we're really kind of watching is here near the Houston area right now, any of these isolated storms that could potentially get a little bit more intense into this afternoon. Now, spoiler alert, this whole afternoon is going to be very messy like we're seeing now. It's once things start to get a little bit more organized that the bulk of that severe threat is going to pick up. But with any of these storms, we could potentially see hail, wind, and tornadoes coming out this afternoon, very scattered with the front end of that low pressure system. Lots of snow up on the north, sitting in the 20s and 30s up on the north end of that low. And then down south, we're in the 50s, even hitting the mid 70s down in Miami right now. So nice and warm in the South Plains, very humid as well, 70-degree dew points in Houston, 72 in Corpus Christi. Severe weather tends to like 60s and above to form, and so we got that out in East Texas, and we're just on the brink of it here in the southeast, but we got some time before those storms sweep through. So setup-wise, looking pretty decent for severe weather this early January day. And this is what we have for instability. This is the lift in the atmosphere, all right, that produces hail and also helps tornado formation. So watching this right now, we got a decent amount of lift and instability over in and around the Houston, Corpus Christi area. And you know, those storms are going to be tracking off in East Texas. Then into later this afternoon, it's going to start to catch up to those storms, potential in about an hour or so to see a little bit of an uptick on our hail chances through that region. And then everything slowly tracks off through Louisiana and then eventually into the remnants of the southeast. So we'll still have a hail risk, but it's going to kind of lower as things shift off to the east. Tornadoes, however, are a different story, just due to, again, that strong upper level wind and all the rotation we're seeing. Our significant tornado parameter is lighting up right now across East Texas, and then later on through Louisiana, New Orleans, seeing some higher values in that by around 8 p.m. Once that line starts to track through, and then a lot more for the southeast, really picking up into the late overnight hours, unfortunately, through tomorrow morning with that system. It's just the timing of it. And so, you know, southern Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, going to see kind of overnight impacts from that. So here's kind of what it all looks like on our future radar. Got, again, just a whole mess of storms into the next hour here. Some of them have the potential to be a little bit stronger and produce potentially severe hail, maybe some tornadoes here and there. But then into this afternoon, there we go, by 6 p.m., starting to see impacts in New Orleans, starting to see another line potentially sweeping through Houston with that hail chance. And then we get this guy forming, and this is kind of really what we're watching for the potential for tornadoes and high winds into the overnight hours, okay? So any embedded rotation along that line could spit out some short-lived tornadoes and very high winds along the coast, particularly into today through tomorrow morning. So got to keep an eye on that. It's kind of what the overall setup looks like. For hail, maybe some ping pong golf ball size stones along the coast. It's hard to get that size when it's just a whole mess like that, but there is that degree of instability to factor in. So ping pong to golf ball size stones would be the max size out of today right along the coastal areas, and those with the highest chance of seeing hail are going to be Houston, Lafayette, and New Orleans. And then, you know, if you're in Shreveport, Jackson, Mobile, anywhere in between there, you still could get some hail, probably pretty small, maybe up to some quarters here and there. So for you guys in Houston, storm timeline is going to be about now through 7 p.m. with just multiple waves tracking through. Largest hail around that area, probably like ping pong ball sized stones, 1.5 inches there. And your chance overall, like you saw a second ago, of 1 inch hail is going to be moderate. So your chance of seeing severe hail in general. And then anything bigger than golf balls is pretty low for today. Then for wind, going to be extending that a little bit further northward and to the east, particularly with that line. As things stay a mess, low end chances through Houston, Shreveport. Things start to pick up once we get that chance for linear formation through Lafayette and Jackson, and then high risk for New Orleans and Mobile to see some winds up to 60 miles an hour or greater through that area. Tornadoes, unfortunately, are going to be a threat into today through a very similar area. Mobile, New Orleans, again, good chance to see in and around the area. Some short-lived tornadoes along that line, and then Lafayette, moderate for you. Alexandria, Houston, Beaumont, just all of East Texas highlighted there. You still got a chance, but while things stay messy and sloppy like they are now, the chance is going to be lower. So that's yours for today. If you're in any 3 of those highlighted areas, good time to turn on those weather alerts. And if you're in any of these highlighted cities, those are going to be your tornado chances reiterated again today. So Beaumont, moderate chance for you. Fort Polk, if you didn't see yourself on the map, moderate chance for you. New Orleans and Mobile are really going to be where we're watching. And again, unfortunately, that's going to be around and after dark tonight. And then Pensacola, if that line reaches you fast enough, then you're in it with New Orleans and Mobile, but it might be early morning tomorrow that you get that risk. So right along the coast, again, in Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, that's where that tornado threat is going to be maximized for today and then into tomorrow. So speaking of, it's going to be the same system, just tracking off to the east tomorrow, and there's that whole line moving through Florida by noon Eastern. All right, so lots of heavy rain, lots of thunder, lightning, but we could get some embedded high winds, especially along any curvature areas in that line, or potential spinning storms spitting out tornadoes as well. Hail chances are going to be very minimal into tomorrow once things go linear like this. So it's going to be more prevalent for wind and tornadoes all the way from the early morning hours into your rush hour. So there you are, 5 p.m. Tuesday. A lot of the Carolinas seeing some pretty heavy weather, as well as the northern Florida peninsula there. So all risks still on the table by the end of your workday tomorrow. And then things should move off into the Atlantic by 1, 2 a.m. tomorrow, or I guess Wednesday morning. And then now we wait for the next system. So for your hail forecast tomorrow, again, very minimal. It's just going to be right along the coast where there will be some residual lift. Tallahassee, Pensacola, you guys would be the areas of interest for some hail into tomorrow. Probably looking at nothing larger than quarters for that area. Then for wind, however, things could pick up a little bit, and that's going to be, again, tonight through tomorrow morning in this maximized area. Could see some gusts of 70, 75 miles an hour. If you're in the dark blue there, Tallahassee, Pensacola, again, Mobile from today, you got that risk sweeping through. And then things should start to taper off as it heads towards the Atlantic. It's a little bit messier. Savannah, Jackson, Tampa, Wilmington as well. Could see some high wind gusts. And then if you're in Charlotte and Virginia Beach, Raleigh, Durham, anywhere in between there, you still got a chance to see gusts up to 60 here and there, but it's going to be a little bit more scattered. For tornadoes, again, that whole area from South Florida all the way up into the coastal Carolinas and Virginia could potentially see tornadoes over the next, 24 hours for the whole southeast, and then another 24 for, forget it. Tornado chance into Florida for tomorrow, and then Miami, low end chance for you. If you're really kind of near where that line is maximized there around Tallahassee, Macon, Tampa, could see some elevated risk for tornadoes out there. And then again, once that line starts to weaken around Jacksonville, Savannah, Virginia Beach, you got a good chance. Now there is a little pocket of Atlantic instability that should track into the coastal Carolinas by tomorrow afternoon. Bottom line, if you guys are kind of in the Wilmington, Columbia area, you got a better chance to see tornadoes out there as well. So a couple of 48 hours, couple of days worth of severe weather. We'll have a brief break on Wednesday and then back to it on Thursday and Friday with another dry line setup heading through central Texas and then eventually into the southeast for the end of your week, and then hopefully a quiet weekend ahead for you guys out that way. So here's what it looks like on our future radar. There's that trough coming through, that low pressure system, outline that circle right there. Going to see some storms starting to spit out ahead of that in the southern Mississippi Valley and East Texas by Thursday afternoon, and then tracking eastward, another whole mess of a system by Friday. So again, very similar to what we're seeing at the beginning of this week, today and tomorrow, tracking through on Thursday and Friday, and eventually off the coast by Saturday. Ohio Valley could get a decent amount of snow from this, so on another note. But for your look ahead forecast, it's going to be East Texas and the southern Mississippi Valley all the way into parts of western Mississippi for Thursday. All risks on the table. And then Friday should be, again, another all risk day, hail, wind, and tornado at this point. And that's going to be a little bit more expansive all the way from Mississippi up into the Carolinas and Virginia once again. So unfortunately, a couple of areas that are going to be seeing some repeat threats throughout this week. So if you're in any of those, again, turn on those weather alerts on your phone. Go ahead and follow us. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. You can hit See First on Facebook so you never miss one of our live videos. And I believe there's a notification bell on YouTube that you can go ahead and click whenever we go live. But we do our forecasts every weekday at noon, so you can tune in with that. And then if you have any questions or if you're interested in purchasing a plan, scan the QR code up above me or click the link in the description to this video and we can go ahead and get you hooked up, or give us a call at 855-334-4245. You can email us if you'd rather at info@hailtrace.com or check out hailtrace.com for more details. Stay safe out there, guys. Stay tuned to our stories for more details, and we'll be back tomorrow at noon with more info on your Tuesday threat. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.